Hey guys, I hope everybody's having a fantastic day. Whether you watch this in the morning, in the afternoon, or in the evening, I'm glad you're all here. I do want to take a quick second and say thank you to all the channel members. Thank you all. I appreciate you more than you know. And I want to thank anybody who finds their way into the channel to check out my crazy knife and EDC content and my journey down this knife collecting, whatever you want to call it, addiction. I'm glad you're here. I appreciate it. And if you're so inclined and you'd like to be updated when things happen on the channel, if you'd hit that subscribe button and that bell notification icon, it would really help me out. So today I wanted to talk about 5 knives that are American made, USA made, that didn't make my top 5 knives for a couple of different reasons. And 2 of these knives is because they weren't represented. They would have made it. But I just thought it would be a good way to visit some really cool knives that are made right here in America that are super, super nice, and just share them with you guys. So the first is the full-size Spartan Harsey Plague Doctor, or the SHR for Spartan Harsey Folder. The 3 1/4 inch that I typically carry more often did make the top 5 or top 10, but this 4 inch is probably one of the largest tactical knives in my collection. It is on phosphorus bronze washers. It is titanium. It has amazingly smooth and solid action. I can both reverse finger flick it or thumb flick it. This particular one, the full size, is in MagnaCut. If I'm not mistaken, I don't know if this one, the 3 1/4 I can front flip. It's not set up to front flip, but this one's MagnaCut. This is also the Plague Doctor version, which was the full size Harsey was the second Plague Doctor to finish up my set, because I got the 3 1/4 first. But that's actually what attracted me to trying a Spartan Harsey, or a mini Spartan Harsey. It had never been my cup of tea or my jam. Once I got the knife, like has happened so many times with American manufacturers and with other manufacturers, I kind of saw what the buzz was about, or why people were willing to, choose these knives over other knives. So coming in, we'll call it number 5, and this is in no particular order. The Spartan Harsey SHR full-sized is a fantastic USA-made knife that, if lost, I would do everything I could to buy it again. Moving on, we come to the TRM Atom. This is the largest of the thin TRM knives that have the swappable scales, and this is with titanium scales. It's a full 3 1/2 inch knife. This knife, if it's a little too large for you, the Neutron is a little bit smaller. I think it's got a 3 inch blade, and then the Nerd is even smaller than that. This is a titanium liner lock that is made in-house by 3 Rivers Manufacturing, TRM. Every screw, every part of this knife is crafted in at 3 Rivers. The blade is 20 CV and uber slicey. One of the things that TRMs are known for is their very slicey, thin, tall, flat, grind blades. And they're also very pokey. So it's a thin knife. It's what I would consider a gentleman's get-it-done knife. It's got a full-size grip. If you have a much larger hand than me, it's going to fit in your hand fine. It's a very thin working profile. It's also on phosphorus bronze washers, but has fantastic snap, fantastic detent, and it's just an absolute stunner of a knife. I love it. It's one of my faves. From when it comes to U.S. manufacturers, this is probably my favorite U.S. manufacturer. I say probably, it is. TRM, they bring so much more to the table than just knives. But number 4 here, TRM Atom. So as we move on, we come to the only Medford I have that is on bearings. And this is my Slim Midi. The Slim Midi, guys, is the Medford that I carry the most. It's the Medford that I love the most. I do have a Midi Marauder, which is the thick one, in a Tonto. If I had my druthers, if I could snap my fingers, I would love to have that Tonto in the Slim Midi as opposed to the full-size Midi. But the Slim Midi this is a DLT exclusive, so it's actually an S90V steel. It's got the falling leaves milled pattern in the scale, and then it's got kind of an anodized finish with plain stainless screws or hardware. Just an absolute banger. I mean, you can use that stop as a thumb stud, even though that's not what it's for. Or you can use that fuller. It's just got great action. Fantastic knife. Very thin profile. Not as thin as our TRM. But for a Medford, it's pretty darn thin. So, coming in at a strong number 3, because all of these knives could very easily stand on their own. But the Medford Slim Midi, my favorite Medford, and just a fantastic specimen. So moving on, we come to a knife that was shared with the channel by Brother Lord Needham, and it was not here when we did our best of the best for USA. But guys, this knife, the Roosevelt, I experienced it at Blade Show 2 years ago, and I've had about 4 or 5 days with it now, and I can tell you that it is, it leaves me speechless. It is, I'm trying to think how to even put this in words. When I first experienced it, Blade Show 2023, all the hype was around the table. There were tons of people there. I didn't want to be much of a burden, so I just got up there and handled the knife a little bit. Was kind of off-put by how light and compact the package was versus the price tag, which now that I have purchased knives in that price point, $700, $750 price point, I don't think there's a knife that's made any better than this. I'm not going to say there are no knives that are as good as this made in the USA, because I tend to think there are, but I think that this is as good as it gets. And from an ergonomical, again, another thinner profile, my jam, with the exception of the Spartan Harsey folder, has always been more of a slicey, thin knife. So if you look at those, even though they're all different lengths and different sizes, the Spartan Harsey is definitely the bruiser of the bunch. But the Roosevelt has not only solidified itself as being on my must-have list sometime, don't know when that's going to be, but I can tell you that this little knife, and they're getting ready to come out with a Rosie XL, which is going to be a little bit larger than this, probably a 3.5-inch blade. Go to their Instagram and check that out. But guys, when you look at the simplicity of an amazing design that is absolutely tuned perfectly, I don't know if you can hear that. That's the detent coming back in. I mean, I could never fail this knife, guys. It is so next level snappy. But yeah, so we'll call this number 2. And this is courtesy of Lord Needham, my brother from another mother, who sent this in for me to check it out. And I don't know whether to hug him or to stay away from him because I love it. He also sent something else in that is not going back to him because it was something that I decided to pick up from him. And this would have made the original list had the original list contained this knife, but this is the Koenig Mini Arius. So this is, to me, kind of amazing fit of engineering. And when I read the Koenig story about how he started making knives and how he was going to go into partnership with his dad, and his dad had a heart attack, and he started chasing, his dream kind of for him and his dad. And the workmanship in this little knife is just, to me, just like the refined drop snappy action of the full size. The full size that I got to try out and do a review on was a flipperless version, if I'm not mistaken. This one does have the flipper tab, which is very enjoyable, therapeutic, but it's also got the finger hole. It's got a fantastic sharpening choil. This one's an M390, whereas the Roosevelt's in Magna Cut. You've got this blue anodized backspacer, anodized hardware, really nice micro milling on the show side, on the clip side, fantastic pocket clip, goes in and out of pocket amazingly well. Great access for the lock bar with a little jimping here. Just a well thought out knife. And guys, the drop on it, that was me missing it, is just next level. It's just kind of a controlled, if you get too close up there, it'll double clutch on you. So your detent ball is right here. So I've had to get used to where I've got to bring it to. But yeah, guys, the Koenig Mini Arius is a knife that I've really wanted for a while. The full-size Arius, then I did the review on it and realized it was a little bigger than really my hand would need. But these are 5 fantastic, not inexpensive, because they are made in the USA and they are all premium knives, but they're some of the favorite knives in my collection. Definitely the favorite USA made knives in my collection. And I would go as far to say as they are kind of lifetime heirloom collection pieces, except for this one, which is Lord Needham's, which will be going back very soon. But we're going to leave it there for the picture. But guys, 5 more fantastic USA made knives that I didn't get a chance to show you guys before. I want to make sure I'll share them with you today, and hope everyone has a fantastic rest of the day, fantastic week, fantastic weekend, depending on when you watch this. And thank you guys for coming and checking them out. I do appreciate it anytime you come by the channel. Guys, thank you. I just ask, please look out for that guy or gal to your left. Please look out for the guy or gal to your right. Please look out for each other. Go forward with love in your heart. Choose debate, not hate. I love you all. Peace.